Good morning. Welcome to the latest edition of Raising the NSBAR. I'm Jeff Lasky, the CEO of this great organization, the North Shore-Barrington Association of Realtors. I hope you are staying safe and healthy. A lot to cover this morning, but I have a quick and important announcement to get out of the way. We are very interested in your feedback regarding how we've been taking care of our members during this COVID-19 pandemic. We pushed out a survey last week, and we're going to let it run a few more days. This input from you, our members, is so important. We really ramp things up, and we'll be having a great prize drawing. To be entered to win a Chromebook, valued at about $250, simply respond to the survey. It is greatly appreciated, and I hope your name is pulled as the winner. I will announce who that lucky member is on next week's Raising the NSBAR. This morning, we'll be introducing a great new program, that is now available to NSBAR members. And I have the perfect people here today to help me do exactly that. Who else could I introduce first but NSBAR's president, Mr. Chris Stevens, who is joining me again today as co-host. Chris started his real estate career in 2006 and has worked his way up to being the managing broker for the Evanston, Winnetka, and Barrington offices of Jameson Sotheby's. Chris has another commitment this morning, but has generously agreed to join us for a few minutes. Good morning, brother.
Good morning.
Also joining us is Nancy Allen, who is the Chief Executive Officer of the Commercial Board of Realtors, CBOR, in Michigan. She is also the Executive Director of the Commercial Property Information Exchange, cpix.net, and in her spare time is the Regional Vice President for Catylist, a real estate software development company. I get tired just reading your bio, Nancy. Since her hiring in 2006, she has more than tripled the membership in CBOR, grown CPICs like crazy, and has created alliances with 26 local associations. Trust me, my friends, Nancy is the best person to have talked to us about this new offering. Good morning, Nancy.
Good morning, Jeff, and thank you for that great intro.
Well, you're welcome. But there's more. Nancy has a couple of friends on the call with us. Bill Caton is the founder and partner of Caton Commercial Real Estate Group. Bill is a veteran of over 40 years in the real estate scene and someone I always enjoy talking business with. As this is an offering tailored not just to commercial brokers, but to those who work in both residential and commercial, I'm very interested to hear Bill's thoughts about this new product and how it benefits not only commercial practitioners, but those who may be predominantly or mostly residential, but also do commercial business. Good morning, Bill.
Good morning.
And let's also welcome Mark Fitzgerald to our podcast. Mark is the Executive Director for the Northern Illinois Commercial Association of Realtors, otherwise familiar to all of us as NICAR. I'm fortunate to have a great working relationship with Mark, and we regularly communicate about how to strategically work together to help each other serve our respective members best. I'm very interested to hear from Mark this morning about NICAR's experience with this new NSBAR product. Hey, Mark.
Good morning, and thanks for having me today. I really appreciate it.
You got it. So let's get to it. I'm pleased to announce that NSBAR has just entered into an agreement with NICAR to provide access to something called ISEX as a member benefit. So let's take it from the top. I'm going to go to you first, Nancy, and ask you, what is ISEX?
Well, ISEX actually stands for the Illinois Commercial Exchange, and that URL is illinoiscommercialexchange.com. ISEX is a locally controlled commercial information exchange, or a CIE, and it's powered by Catylist technology.
Okay, so now you mentioned a CIE, which I think that stands for Commercial Information Exchange, right? So what's the difference between a CIE and, like, let's say an MLS?
Well, believe it or not, it has nothing to do with the technology. It's all about the rules, and those rules are set forth by the National Association of Realtors. In the commercial industry, the rules are a lot less strict. So one of the major differences between an MLS and a CIE is there is no guarantee of commission on a commercial information exchange. There's no requirement and disclosing your sale and lease information. And CIE is able to have a much larger footprint. So typically it's local, statewide, regional, as well as national, all at the same time.
Okay, so just so I make sure I understand this, so that like when our members would put listings into Connect MLS, obviously that's through MRED, that's a multiple listing service with the requirement of having cooperation and compensation, right? They have to make an offer in the system of a co-op. In a commercial information exchange, that requirement doesn't exist. It's the information that's the important thing in a CIE.
That's correct, but it's still Realtor based. So the code of ethics still exists with the users that are realtors using the system, but the inherent nature is a lot more open in a commercial information exchange.
Okay, I got you. Now, and you've mentioned commercial exchange a number of times, and you mentioned, I think, IllinoisCommercialExchange.com. I know that this website that's out there that ISEX is connected to is called CommercialExchange.com. So maybe you can explain that a little bit to me and to our audience.
Sure. So Catylist actually has over 50 locally controlled sites. Again, some of those could be local, covering a particular county. Some could be regional. Some are, cooperating with amongst several realtor associations. And all the work that is done on each one of these local sites automatically goes to Catylist's national site, which is commercialexchange.com. And commercialexchange.com is meant to attract people that aren't in the realtor world. So it could be tenants, could be investors, economic development site selectors, or it could actually be non-realtors, which we do have plenty of those across the state, across the country in the commercial profession. So Commercial Exchange brings together everything that every local commercial information exchange or commercial MLS, Catylist does have both, is working on. So all of the available listings are available for people to search, as well as the public never needs to log in to see information on commercialexchange.com.
Okay, so if a member were to put a commercial listing in ISEX, okay, so that fellow ISEX participants would see that listing in there, but it would also get fed out to commercialexchange.com to where the public could actually see it anywhere in the country. Is that a fair way?
That is correct. A member listing in ISEX is available to the entire public world. They never have to log into ISEX. And the same is true. It automatically is updated on commercialexchange.com, which never requires a user to log in to access the information.
Cool. All right. So what I'm going to do now is pivot over to Chris for a moment, because back when, and I've been at NSBAR, my goodness, it's been 2.5 months. So I started in early March, and when I came on board, right away, one of the first things that was brought to my attention is that Chris, as the president of NSBAR, had been talking with NICAR about the possibility of bringing in or working out some kind of an agreement with NICAR to bring ISEX on as a member benefit. So I'm going to start from there, Chris, and ask you, as the president of NICAR, what interested president of NSBAR? Boy, they sound familiar. That's okay. That's an okay mistake. They sound a lot alike. As the president of NSBAR, what interested you in bringing on ISEX as a member benefit?
Yeah, so thank you very much for having me, and thanks everyone for being on this. My mission as president was pretty simple. I wanted to increase the communications to the members. I wanted to increase member involvement and member engagement, have true transparency in what actually happens in the association for our members. And fourth was better serve our commercial agents. We do have some commercial agents. We also have some residential agents that do some commercial business as well, that we very much as a board felt that we weren't serving those members. And those residential agents that do commercial, we like to refer to as residential agents. We really didn't have any offerings to offer them in terms of forms, in terms of a lot of times agents are just posting commercial properties up on the MLS, and that's great. It's great for other agents to see, but it really didn't go anywhere. It really didn't push or have that search engine optimization or searching tools for, let's say if you're a small business owner, you weren't really seeing that property. So that res-commercial agent really wasn't doing a great job in representing that client as well. So what I really liked about this product was it gives search engine optimization or searchable communication for consumers so that they could actually see some of these properties. And maybe it's a small commercial storefront in Lake Bluff or a commercial space or in the areas that we serve. And I think that there's a lot of these agents and a lot of these. And once we started having these conversations with some of the agents, they're saying, yeah, I have this office space for a client of mine that they want me to list, but I really just don't know how to get that information out there. So MRED doesn't really feed to any of these commercial sites. So that's where the problem was, where Catylist comes in and the Illinois Commercial Exchange and the ISEX was to be able to give that to our members so that they can ultimately better serve some of the commercial dealings and transactions that they're dealing with. Mm-hmm.
So as our president, you obviously saw value across the board to many of our members, whether they're solely commercial, whether they practice both residential and commercial. So now I'm going to ask you to take a look at it though from, put on your managing broker hat now.
Absolutely.
You've got 3 offices, right? And you care about your agents. So, and the people out there, while they appreciate what we all do for the association, they really need to know what it is, what's in it for them, right? So, I'd ask you, what about ISEX do you see as something that you would recommend to your associates in your office?
Absolutely. I think it's especially for small boutiques or smaller brokerages where they don't have a commercial department or something like that, where they can hire a commercial guy to better represent the residential brokers that they have. So if they wanted somebody in their office that focuses on commercial, that commercial agent has an ability to then therefore go out and properly market these properties. Mm-hmm. There's other avenues that commercial or people that focus on commercial, but it's not cost effective if there's some agents in the office that might want to do 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 of these transactions a year. It's not cost effective to go ahead and do some of that commercial. But also there's investors all over the country that are looking on the Catylist program and on the Commercial Information Exchange. So we have properties here that only local MLS agents were going to be seeing those properties the way they were advertised. And so as a managing broker, I know that I have a tool now in my arsenal to hire and better serve the agents in our office and the clients that we represent, because a lot of them are business owners that have commercial needs as well.
Terrific. All right. Chris, I'm going to reserve the right to come back to you in a minute or two.
Sounds good.
But I want to get to Mr. Bill Caton. And Bill, now we have another perspective I'd like to introduce. You've been doing commercial for a long time, and I know from speaking to you on a number of occasions that you're a fan of ISEX. You're a fan of commercialexchange.com. So let's go from your perspective as a commercial practitioner. So, and we'll start with your fellow commercial peeps out there, your other commercial people out there. What can you tell them about this new NSBAR member benefit?
Great. First, I'd like to say how excited I am, okay, that not only Jeff, you and Chris, your board has taken this on. We've been talking since the beginning of the year, and to see this come to fruition for your members is very exciting to me, because as a broker owner and also a past president of NICAR many years ago, I met Nancy in Washington, D.C. and saw this program and immediately saw the benefits for the commercial people in my office and brought it back to NICAR, and we adopted it at that time. It's a marketing tool, first and foremost, out of the box, okay? You can utilize this tool, okay, to win listings in your marketplace over other people. And winning the listing is only the first part, because then you need to be able to service that listing, okay, appropriately. And by using this tool, you can service that listing, right? And when you combine this, okay, with the national exposure, and it hasn't been mentioned yet, but RPR, okay, which is free to everybody, and there's an RPR commercial, okay, is synchronized with this. So you put that research tool and that ability together with their mobile app that you can put on your phone. You could be out there on the street, okay, and somebody can say, well, what's that commercial building or that Six Flags or so forth. You can go right on your iPhone and go through that and pull up all the information and have it at your fingertips, okay? So automatically, okay, what would normally take you years to learn your market and everything that's available there, right? You can be an expert to your client, okay, at that point. So those are all the great things that I see are out there to begin marketing with.
All right, so as a commercial practitioner then, you see a real value to ISEX in and of itself, just as a commercial practitioner.
Absolutely, okay? And especially at the level and the examples that Chris gave, all right? And now, if you are a commercial shop with 30 or 40 commercial people, you're probably using one of the nationals, okay? Big boxes, the big gorillas in the sea. But if you're doing that, you're paying somebody's salary, all right, to do that. And that information is not always very accurate. The thing that's really impressive to me, this is broker-owned, broker-fed, all right? So the information, okay, is accurate. It's put in there by professionals, okay, that actually know the people, the property, and the listing. So the accuracy is far greater. And there's also a built-in system to make sure that accuracy stays there.
Well, and I have to say that knowing you and your years in the industry, that you feel that this is a worthy product from a commercial perspective really, was important to me. That really hit me as like, okay, this is something that we really got to pay some attention to. But now, obviously, NSBAR has a lot of residential practitioners who do some commercial business. And so it sounds to me like there's some real benefits for them to take advantage of ISEX as well.
Yes, the newer generation of brokers that I see coming on board are very tech savvy, all right? So they are able to see the advantages of the technology and how it can improve their marketplace. And once they get familiar with this tool, okay, and put it into place, okay, they're going to elevate their game above all the other realtors out there that they're competing with. So that makes a very good marketplace for everybody that's involved. Mm-hmm. I mean, Rockford is a classic study of that. Rockford's been using this for multiple years. They're kind of a market to themselves out there. And because they have comps and research and information there that even the big gorillas in the industry don't have in that marketplace. So you give this some time and you feed this, okay, in your marketplace, right? You're going to have access to the best quality information that the brokers own in that area.
Terrific. Now that sounds great. I'm going to transition now to Mark, to Mr. Fitzgerald for just a minute here, because I want to paint a picture for the audience right now, because I just want to make sure that I understand this and that they understand this. So, and I'll use an analogy. It's like, so if we look at ISEX, and we mentioned this earlier, as being a searchable database like MRED's MLS system, Connect MLS, right? But we know it's not an MLS, it's a database that they can search, but it's not an MLS, but they have their similarities. I'm wondering if I could analogize commercialexchange.com that's out there nationally, this website that all this stuff is fed to, for example, realtor.com.
Absolutely. That's a great analogy. And to me, the addition of commercialexchange.com is just a game changer for us. We are building our market locally here. But as Nancy mentioned earlier, there are 50 associations or sites like ours across the country. You can't afford to do the proper search engine optimization that you would need to make that a national source. With commercialexchange.com, Catylist was very wise in hiring that and adding that capability to make sure that that site was totally optimized. So what that means to the broker is I watch on a monthly basis the number of views that are coming from ISICs and from Commercial Exchange. And at first, Commercial Exchange started, this started beginning of last year. They started to make their input, on the numbers. And now it's almost 50-50 with ISICs views and Commercial Exchange. So that power you have to get your listing out around the country, really, and in Canada, is tremendous with Commercial Exchange. So you have the best of both worlds, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. Sounds great. And from what everybody has said, it sounds like this is something that certainly if you do any kind of commercial work at all that you want to check out. But this is something that is, there's an expense to the individual broker for doing it. Could you talk about that for a moment?
Absolutely. We are working with NSBAR. As a result, all NSBAR brokers who would like to subscribe, they're going to get the NICAR member pricing, which is $49 a month subscription fee. It is a month-to-month subscription.
Okay. So now, if somebody were to go directly to the Catylist website, for example, if they wanted to try to acquire this themselves directly, I assume that the expense would be much more.
Yes. Well, first of all, they couldn't do an ISICs portion. That's a whole different deal, and it's a process that the association signs an agreement with Catylist, who, by the way, is the most supportive, friendly, and easy to use. If you ever have to call their customer support, they're tremendous technical support. But if you want to try and become a subscriber to commercialexchange.com, which you could, it's $99 a month. So right there, you're less than half the price.
No, so you're getting both ISECs, and you're getting the feed to Commercial Exchange for the $49 a month. And you said earlier that it's a month-to-month commitment. So somebody does it for a month, they're not. They've decided to do something else with their lives. They don't have to continue paying for it.
You're not stuck in a long-term contract. Obviously, we'd hope you continue to, because the more longer you're in, it works. You know how that works. But for whatever reason, life gets in the way, you contact our offices and your subscription stops.
All right. Well, just you and me here talking, Mark. So let's, get to when I say to the nitty-gritty here, okay, what's your impression of ISECs? Has it really benefited members of NICAR?
For the people that are savvy enough to understand the benefit of having a CIE that is owned by the brokers and your data is owned by you, this is a tremendous benefit. It's a matter now of us saturating the market, because the more people that join, the better and better this gets. And then when you add, obviously, the game changer with Commercial Exchange, it's win-win-win. And we purposely priced our subscription low because we're not interested in making it a major source of revenue, but rather a member benefit for all.
And it goes without saying, you see this translating well to NSBAR and its members.
Totally. Especially for the members that are dual specialty, that have done residential, but now they get, as Chris mentioned, get to 2 to 3 to 5 listings a year. This is the most cost-effective and soon to be best alternative from the national brands that are multiples more per month. It would be cost prohibitive for someone in a dual specialty to be able to do that. I mean, you could, but there was really no reason for it if you go with our program.
It sounds like it's great standing on its own, let alone the comparison there,
Yes.
Financially. So that sounds terrific. So what I'm going to do now is bounce back to you, Nancy, because we've got to make sure that our members, that NSBAR members, are going to be made aware of this new opportunity. And so I was hoping you could talk a bit, because of all the work you've done with my staff, about how NSBAR members are going to be made aware of this.
Can I just jump in for a quick second before she takes her breath? And that is, speaking from a broker, and for Chris also as a broker, of the MLS system, as most of you are aware, that if one person in the office is a member, everybody has to be a member. All right. That's not so with this product. We hope that all those people that are utilizing the service, get a membership. But if there's only 3 people in the office, okay, out of 30 that are doing, the dual specialty or doing some commercial, those 3 people only have to join, not the entire office. So that again is a major differential, okay, to the MLS system, okay, that's important to the brokers and should be important to the agents out there.
Thanks, Bill. That was helpful. Thank you. Okay, so now I'll bounce back to you, Nancy. Now you've had a couple extra minutes to prepare your answer.
Well, we've all teamed up pretty quickly and strategically on our marketing plan. So NSBAR will be releasing weekly email digest, sending out targeted marketing campaigns to particularly the brokers of the association that we know for sure are doing commercial, posting things on social media, also creating, may already be set to go, a website presence that kind of outlines everything that this program has to offer. NICAR is doing exactly the same thing, as well as Catylist. Catylist is also going to be sending out targeted emails announcing these opportunities and the training sessions. I have 6 training sessions set up just for the month of June. So the first 2, which begin next week on Tuesday and Thursday, there's a morning session and an afternoon session. That will be a high-level intro to the benefits, but not quite digging in. And then the 4 sessions following that will be digging in and very topic specific on how to use a lot of the features in the system.
Excellent.
We got a very strong marketing strategy.
Well, it sounds like it won't be because you didn't know about it or didn't have an opportunity to learn about it, right? So I think that's what we always strive for. We're almost at the bottom of the hour. I know that Mr. Stevens has to boogie, but is there anything, Chris, that you wanted to add before we let you go?
No, I'm really excited to give this, to add this to some of our offerings to our members. And I know, Jeff, when you came on as our new CEO, we kind of threw this on your plate, and I'm glad that you took with it and ran with it. And I think it's a great offering that we have for our members. And I'm really excited. I think it's going to be a great member resource for our agents.
All right, brother. Well, thanks for jumping in your busy schedule and to do this. Now I'm going to take it back over to you, Mark, for just a second and ask you if we forgot to mention anything that you wanted to add to what we've got here in front of our members.
I guess the big thing is understand, there's been a phrase that's been used a lot recently, is that we're all in this together. And we really are all in this together. We are interested in your success. We deal in the commercial business every day. I have the greatest of respect for the brokers, and we are really here to help you succeed, not to drain you of your revenue. We're here to help you be successful. And in doing that, then we're all successful.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, that's always been the tenor of our conversations, for sure. So I appreciate that greatly. Bill, you'd already jumped in and added something. Was there anything else? I need, give me something that'll help our brokers make a decision about this. Nope, you're on mute, Bill.
Technology. Two things quickly. One is, during this post-transition of COVID, it's a perfect time to get in and learn the tool. I mean, a hammer is only as good as the carpenter is with his skill. So use this time, okay, along with Nancy's schedule there, to get familiar with it. The other thing I would say is that you have the opportunity here to build a network of commercial brokers. And this should be important to the residential agent. So I'm a residential agent. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do leasing or whatever. Now you have a group in NSBAR of people that you can go to and know that they understand. They have a tool that they can get the market out there, and you can get paid a referral or team up with them, okay, use them, okay, as a learning platform and share the commissions, okay, and develop your own expertise, okay, along that line. So a lot of good compulsion for both your commercial people to band together and help one another in referrals, and the residential people likewise.
Terrific. Thanks. And Nancy, was there anything else that you wanted to mention? Anything I forgot to bring up?
Well, I do have a little bit of a fun fact that I like everybody to be aware of. And it's really what makes Catylist different and how we are able to work with the commercial industry on the level that we do. Our CEO, and the company's almost a little over 18 years old, our CEO is still a practicing commercial broker. He's a CCIM in Ann Arbor, Michigan. And our senior vice president was the former commercial vice president of the National Association of Realtors. Now, I'm a commercial overlay board association executive. So that's just part of the background. The company understands the commercial broker because our CEO is still a commercial broker. So that's kind of a cool fact. The last thing I would say is that the goal around ISEX is to create a community, establish relationships, not just with other commercial professionals, but with those that are trying to enter into the commercial industry, et cetera. And so this isn't just something that we take lightly. We use the word community and we use the relationship word quite frequently because the goal of this is to create relationships even outside of the brokerage community. And that would include relationships with media and economic development, and people that we want to network on a daily basis with to make these commercial real estate transactions happen more often. So the goal behind it is to create a community, and when everybody gets on and they're using it and they're searching it, even if you just search publicly without logging in, you know, you're part of the program and you're helping us make it more successful. So the community side of it is very important.
That's a great message. And what can I say other than this was intended to be an introduction to what we're doing here, and you guys did a fantastic job. I thank you all for the great information. Please keep an eye, everybody out there, please keep an eye on NSBAR Communications for more about this exciting development. I'd also like to thank our producer, Jim Schiefelbein, and the man running the board, Bradley Laberman. Don't forget, respond to the latest NSBAR survey. It's going to be in tomorrow's weekly digest email. Those go out every Wednesday, getting the most important information to you just a little better. So thanks again. See you all later. Please stay safe and healthy.
Hey, Bradley, is it okay if I leave?